All right, everyone. All right, welcome to day 5 of the Close More Deals Challenge. This is the general session. Really fire-packed session for you guys today. We got Phil on, and what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be talking about objections, and specifically how to close people who have tough objections. How many of y'all here get tough objections? Let me know in the comments what type of objections you get. But first, we were talking about in the VIP session. We were talking about how you actually sell like you buy. It's funny, every time I speak to someone and I say, let's say I'm on a sales call. I'll say, what is the biggest objections you get on a sales call? They say, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. I'll say, cool. Well, here's our offer. And you know what that person says to me? I don't have the time, I don't have the money. You attract the objections that you get. Look at your worksheets. Look at your worksheets from yesterday and tell me if the objections you give and the objections you get aren't similar. You attract, you buy like you sell. And so that's the deep-rooted cause. But we had Suzanne, who yesterday took action. She not only took action and scheduled a call to work with us at the Daily Sales Huddle, but she actually took the advice of the pay plan advice. Suzanne, can you quickly share the advice you took and what happened? Can we spotlight her, Carla?
Yeah, it was pretty funny because you gave me.
Can you speak up? You're a little bit low. Can you speak up?
Sorry, I don't know why my mic's not working lately. Can you hear me okay now? I'll talk
a little bit better. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you gave me this advice earlier, and I was asking you, how much should I charge for a pay plan? Should I do $895 a month for 10 more, blah, 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 right? And you said, no, just if they say, do you have a pay plan? Ask them, do you need a pay plan? So I asked the guy yesterday, and I told him, he said, how much is it? I said, 10,000. He said, oh, do you have a pay plan? I said, not really. Most people pay in full. Do you need a pay plan? He goes, no, I don't need a pay plan. I'm okay. So, is that MasterCard?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing what happens when you know the words to use. When you know the words to use. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. In our worksheet, let's see here. All right, we'll go over that. Let's do this. Let's take some common objections and let's do some role playing with Phil. I've had way too much time on this challenge. I want to get Phil involved and let you guys see just how amazing Phil is at this stuff. And with his late night DJ voice, as we figured out earlier. So let's do this. In the chat, Carla, in the chat, let's take an objection. Pick the person that has the objection, and let's do some role playing with Phil on how that objection would get handled. So who wants to go first?
All right, Zach has one. Let me grab his camera really quick. I'll grab Phil. Go for it.
All right, cool, Phil. Yeah, this sounds really good. Looks like a good program, but I think I know everything I need to do. So I just want to work on this on myself and at least prove to myself that I can really do it myself,
Yeah, brother. I love the mentality. I love the mentality. What was it about the program that you liked?
Well, it was going to solve, that first thing that I said was a problem that we talked about that would solve it.
What was that problem?
It's just I've just got this really negative attitude towards a lot of stuff. And I'm I've struggled with this, and we talked about how we could actually fix it instead of just putting a Band-Aid on the symptoms.
Yeah. And how long have you been experiencing that negative attitude for?
Really a long time, but especially this last year.
Okay. And remind me again, what happened this past year?
I just don't have the confidence. I'm afraid I'm supposed to be the top sales manager in my district, but I don't have the confidence to get up in front of people anymore. And, I'm really going home and taking it out on my wife, and she doesn't deserve that. I know she's frustrated with me.
Yeah. So I can appreciate that you want to go out there and prove to yourself you can do this. But I want you to also be open to at what cost, right? Like, what has it cost your wife for the past year bringing this all back home, thinking you can just sort it out? Each day passes by and you keep bringing it back home. How has that affected things at home?
I mean, they're not great. It's okay.
How so?
Well, it's just like, I know she kind of wishes I would be more agreeable, and sometimes I pick fights that I don't need to pick. And I know she's been asking me to like hang out and watch a movie, and I don't want to. So like, that's just not the same, especially because we have this thing with the daughter that we have to worry about with this medical condition. And that's really been like the big thing that's distracting us.
And is it having effect with your daughter at all and how you bring things home?
Yeah, probably. I think it's probably.
Okay. Can you expand on that? How do you mean?
If my wife and I aren't getting along, if we're not working together the way that we used to, or the way that we could be, I know it's probably not as good for our daughter as well.
And so it's been happening for the past year, Zach. What happens if you try to do this on your own, just like you have been, and another 3, 6, or 12 months goes by and nothing changes? What happens to your family then?
It's probably just like we stay in the same place. Nothing changes. It's not bad. It's not like we can do it.
Would you want to settle for that?
No,
Why not?
because I want to know that I did everything that I could for my family.
And haven't you been trying everything that you could for your family up until this point?
I mean, kind of like I haven't really been trying everything, and I've kind of been like I haven't really done everything that I know I can do. I know there's more stuff that I can do that I haven't done yet.
And knowing the things that you haven't done yet, what are some of those things?
Like I haven't been consistent with my habits. I haven't been making as much of an effort at home. I've just like been letting things bother me that don't need to bother me. I think I could just like stop doing that.
Yeah. Would you be open to me being a little direct with you, brother?
Yeah, sure.
So when we think about consistency or the effort and letting things just get to you, a lot of the times those are bad habits that are built. It's not usually you somehow just know how to change habits. Can we agree on that? Otherwise, you would have by now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If things continue on the next 3 to 6 to 12 months, that doesn't just affect Zach. Who else does that affect?
Oh, it affects my wife, my daughter, maybe my job.
And wanting to do this on your own, are you willing to risk for another 3, 6, or 12 months that it can affect your wife, it can affect your daughter, and you can potentially put your job at risk? Are you willing to put that on the line instead of making a decision from a position of power to seek help and guidance to help you with the very thing that we know how to do best? Are you willing to risk that?
I'm gonna be difficult. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. I really think I can do it.
Okay. So walk me through your plan. How are you going to do it?
I'll just like come home and try to be more positive and agreeable. Yeah, I guess that's it. Just kind of like trying a little harder on the stuff that I already know I'm supposed to do.
Okay. So have you not been doing that the past year?
Yeah, okay, I guess I have.
So if you keep doing the same things over and over and over and over and expecting different results, what's the definition of that?
Insanity.
Okay. And so I guess what decision do you need to make differently today to put you, your family, and your career in the best position so that doesn't happen, so you don't risk your family's life?
I guess I need to decide to do something differently.
And what is that decision?
I guess I need to do this program, work with you.
Are you sure, man? You sure you're willing to put in the work?
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, brother. You ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, brother. Let's do it. How you feel?
I'm so excited to learn. I'm so excited to learn this from you.
Too
Guys,
easy.
and look, did you notice that Phil barely made any declarative statements? Did you guys notice that? He barely
hold
made
on,
any
Matt.
declarative statements. Who did most of the talking? Who did most of the talking?
Zach.
Was it Phil or was it the prospect?
Prospect.
Prospect, okay? Let me ask you guys this. How much, type in the chat or if for general admission on the comments, if you could do that, and it's not gonna happen overnight, it's not gonna happen in a week, but we work with you every day, it can happen sooner than you think. How much more money do you think you would make in the next 12 months if you knew how to do that? And you could do it smoothly. How much more money do you think you could make? Zach says millions. 500,000, 500,000. Is that 5 million or 5? No, it's 500,000, okay? Type it in the comments. How much more money do you think you could make? 500K or more, another 500K. How much do you think you could make in the next year if you knew how to do that? 10x what you're making. Thank you, Ivan. So here's the question I have for you. Here's the question I have for you. What is driving you to not pick up that money that's right in front of you? How okay are you with losing that money this year, next year, the year after? How okay are you with taking that money that you could have and letting your competitors have it, letting it disappear into the ether? How okay are you with what you have now versus what you could have if you just had the skill? If you just had it, it's not an art, it's a skill. How okay are you with that? If you are okay with that, then I'm not sure why you're on this challenge in the first place. Okay, that was fantastic. Thank you, Phil. Let's do another one. Do we have another objection that we can go through with Phil?
Yep,
I got one.
absolutely. I'm gonna bring Marty up really
Is
quick.
general admission digging this? I can't see the general admission comments. So
And guys, if you want to be after Marty, drop your objection in the chat. I'll add you.
all right, let's go. What's the objection?
I get this one a lot because I have a real estate related offer, flipping foreclosures, flipping houses. So it's, if your program was any good and it really worked, you would just partner with me on a deal I bring you, and then we'll take the profit. You can take the profit out of the money we make on that flip and, pay yourself or take your fee from the profit.
Yeah. So Marty, how many foreclosed houses have you flipped so far?
So I'm the prospect. So 0, none.
Okay. So you've done 0. How many have we done? At least to your knowledge.
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. And so just to make sure I'm understanding where you're coming from, if our 1,000 is so good, we should be able to bring you into the program where you've done 0 and risk our time for you to implement the things you haven't ever implemented before. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're asking me to do is to go to war with you, but you've never been at war, and to trust that you have my back in the way, not that you have any ill intentions, but in a way that would bring us both home. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
Okay. If you were in my position, would that make sense?
No.
Okay. So are you open to a different perspective?
Yes.
My beautiful brother. So the reason why we've been able to do not just 1,000, we've done more, is because we have a battle-tested, proven formula that works. But we don't know you're going to put in the work. And when we think about that, who actually takes on the risk?
I guess you do.
If you were to go out there into the battlefield on your own, you've never been there, and you try to do it on your own what is the risk you're going to take on going by yourself?
Yeah, I'm probably going to get either die or get seriously injured.
Right. And obviously this isn't war, right? But remind me again, why do you even want to get into this in the first place?
Well, I'm working at this job that, I work nights, I work weekends, I work holidays, and I'm fed up with having someone tell me what to do and living my life on somebody else's terms. So I feel like, and I don't know how to, I'm no good at golf. I'm not good at anything that would pay me a lot of money that I like to do. So I think that real estate is my best shot. Seems like the common man or woman who doesn't know how to, design computers or software programs or have gotten wealthy doing real estate. So that's why I think it's the best path for me.
And how much gas do you have left in the tank to stay in that 9 to 5 and be in that same position for another 1, 2, or 3 years?
I'm done with it. My wife's pregnant and we're going to have a baby in 6 months. And I do not want to be working in this job and, be missing out on her birthdays and, whatever she decides she wants to do, soccer games or whatever. I just don't want, and I see people who I work with who are married and have children missing out on all these experiences with their families. And I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Congratulations on the baby, by the way. No, that's amazing.
She's actually, this is me talking when I got into real estate when I was 30. I'm 50 now. So my girls are in college, but
Yeah.
I'm channeling my,
Good.
my avatar when I was 30 and tired of being in the business I was in. So.
Yeah, and Marty, with the new baby on the way, because I've been in that same exact position, are you willing to risk the time that you're never going to get back with them if you don't put yourself in the best position to change your life and to take control of your decisions versus working for somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, if I could just make enough money doing this I'm a TV news cameraman. I make $63,000 a year. If I could just make that much money a year so that flipping houses so that I could, be around, that's at this point, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I'm not worried about you just making 60K. Obviously, the goal is for us to help you build an abundant lifestyle. But I guess my question would be, are you willing to put in the work? Because we have the roadmap. We've battle tested this over 1,000 times. But are you in a position right now where you're going to put in the work? If we showed you the roadmap, if we take you to the gym and tell you what weights to lift in what order and why you're doing it, are you going to lift the weight?
Yes.
Why? Why is now the time to lift the weight?
Because I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of getting called out at 3 a.m. to cover a car accident or tell my wife. I mean, last year I missed, my wife and I had a special Valentine's Day dinner planned and last February. And there was a psycho drove his car into a grocery store and so blew my whole night with her. So I'm ready to do this right now. I can put in the work for sure.
Are you sure, man? Because we're going to ask of you more than you've ever asked of yourself if you really want to change your life and never miss a Valentine's Day again.
Yes.
All right. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
All right, brother. Are you ready to jump in together?
Let's do it.
All right. So what did I do there, Marty?
Well, I love the part at the beginning because, you helped me understand that, and I've tried to respond similarly, but not nearly that eloquently. I like the war analogy. That's great. Just changing your whole mindset to think, well, wait a minute, I've never done this before. So this is a huge, not thinking about the risk that I would take if, I was to jump into a deal with you. Right. So just the picture you painted, I guess is what is a terrific analogy. I love analogies. So that was terrific.
Yeah, this goes back to like what Dan was talking about, right? Like visualizing the journey. Because a lot of the times when we think about objections, if you guys take objections as like a rejection of us personally, that's when we go into battle. but it should always be an objection as a concern that we need to move through together.
Mhm.
And that's why I don't get emotionally charged. I stay at baseline, but I know there's a mental perspective block that you're just not seeing. And the faster I get you on the path to see things from my perspective, but not projecting it onto you, you'll notice I kept
Right.
asking
Yep.
you to join me in that process. The more you can see clearly, the best course of action.
Mhm.
That's how we objection handle. It's just reframing the mind.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. That was great.
Awesome, fantastic. Okay, let's do one more, and then we're gonna hop into our workbooks, and I'm gonna show you because look, for you to get as good as Phil at that, you're gonna need some time. You're gonna need some time to get good at it. I'm gonna give you a framework, however, that is gonna show you how to stick to it and how to navigate it, where you can handle multiple objections in multiple ways, as long as you pretty much stick to this framework. Okay, so we'll do that here in a moment. Let's do one more, Carla. Let's do one more with Phil.
All right. Well, we role played a little bit with Danielle. Why don't we jump in? AJ has kind of a general one. Maybe that could be good. That could be
Well,
interesting.
I see one that says,
Or you want to go with Mara?
I can't see all the comments. You pick, Carla.
Okay, I'm going to go with AJ because I'm curious. All right, AJ,
Yeah.
go ahead
you
and
guys
start
hear
your
me?
video. Yes, let me spotlight you really quick. And then I'll grab. Phil.
All right, AJ, what's your offer, brother?
All right. I do done for you services for starting a white label SaaS product. Offers usually like 5 or 10K, depending on done with you or done for you.
You said 5 to 10K done with
Yeah.
you, 10K for done for you.
Yeah, and then I do have a do it yourself for like 3K
Okay, cool.
that I try to
Ye-
only downsell.
Yeah, you said white label SaaS, right?
Yes.
Cool. What's the objection?
So I've had a few objections where people that have been qualified have the funds. I go on this, like, we're on a call for an hour long. I start getting some objections. I overcome those objections. And at the very end, I just get a no, like, no thanks. Like,
Yep.
Okay, no thanks. And I've already overcome all the objections prior to it, and I still get a no thanks. So I'm like, okay, at that point, I'm just like, I don't know what else to say. You know,
So
we're
tell me
doing-
some of these objections though that you overcame. Like what was it specifically, verbatim, if you can?
Okay, I remember one where it was that even though I have a pre-called video after the application that kind of explains how things work, how they're going to make money, I still get asked like, well, I still don't know how this works. I still don't know exactly what I'm going to get. I still don't know how I'm going to actually make money because it's a biz ops based. So I
Yep.
sit there and I'm like, well, okay, well, just to repeat what you should have already watched in the video prior to the call, A, B, C, D, E, this is how you're going to make money.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'll even stop and be like, look, I don't think you're prepared for this call. Like, because this should have been addressed prior to the call. That's why I had to watch the pre-call video. Well,
Sure.
AJ, I watched it, but I still don't get it. And then I get, some people are familiar with the software I'm white labeling. It's not an uncommon software. So an objection I've gotten is like, well, what makes you different than just me getting it on my own or getting these free courses in exchange for an affiliate commission? And I sit there and of course I explain, like, we have a proven formula that works, you know, free, you get what you pay for. If you expect somebody to give you a free course, what do you expect the outcome of that free thing to be when everyone's getting it for free? And so, you know, I feel like I get it like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I can move along. But at the end, I still get a, you know what, they sit there, they pause. I stay quiet, right? You talk, don't say a word when you make the offer. And then at the end, they sit there for like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, sometimes even a minute. And they're just like, you know what, no thanks.
So we'll just work with these two because realistically, brother, this is not an objection. This is a lack of clarity in how we articulate the offer. Sometimes when we're like such experts, we end up using jargon. So what I want to do before I don't think this is an actual objection. I think this is customizing the solution where it makes sense. How long is your pitch? And then I want to hear your pitch.
Pitch can be a minute to 5 minutes. So I've split tested it where I've used like pitch decks on a Zoom call and showed them a screen of like the prices and what they get. Sometimes it's just verbally me communicating the pitch, but usually it could be a minute. It could be 5-10 minutes. It just depends on what questions they have, because sometimes I get interjected with questions while I'm making the pitch.
Yep. So let's do this. Pitch me. And then after that, I'm going to ask you some questions. I will pitch you and you tell me if you're more inclined to do a deal with me or not. Okay.
Okay, bet, because right now I usually go off the script, so I'm just gonna be off the cuff a little bit.
Let's
Even
do
though
it.
it's my product, I still the script helps me a
Let's
lot.
do it.
All right, Phil, look, you seem like you're a great fit. Is there anything else you want me to know about you before I tell you how this works?
Nope.
Okay, like I said, I believe you're a good fit for this and that I can help you. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through what that looks like. So we call it our 10K SaaS business launch program. And the reason why we call it 10K is because our goal is to get you to $10,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue within the next 90 days or less. And we do that by giving you 3 things. 1, access to our online curriculum, which is a step-by-step curriculum that's going to break down how this business works, gives you a 30,000-foot overview. We're going to tell you how to set up and create your free 30-day trial for the software. And then you're going to clone. Step 2 of that process is you're going to actually take my digital assets, my website, my funnels, my sales scripts, my lead generation strategies, my client acquisition, all that stuff I use to make money online that's helped me build an online business in the 6 figures a month. You're going to get to clone that on your business. And then the third part of that is the tier of this package is we're going to actually set up the software for you. So we'll actually white label it for you, set up the infrastructures, perform about 100 different mundane tasks that, could save you a lot of time and money, and knowing that my team's going to step in and do it for you so that you're up and running within days, not weeks or months. Finally, you get accountability, Phil. So like, when you have questions, when you have concerns, when you're stuck, or you need somebody to role play with you, whatever it is, we're here to help you stay accountable with our online community and our weekly coaching call. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. How do I get paid? So the biggest thing there, brother, is number one, are you open to me being direct? Because I'm going to shift the entire way you did that.
I love the rest.
Okay. So number one, it's too much product and benefits where I can see what you're saying. I just don't comprehend it because you're the expert. I'm not. I've never done this before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to make it make sense at a 3rd grade level. So the way that I would pitch that, again, I've never pitched this specific offer, but I'm going to show you how you can do this for anybody, regardless of their experience level. So AJ, I have an understanding of where you're at, kind of where you want to be and why you potentially want to start in white label SaaS. So are you open with me sharing with you like exactly how we're going to help you reach your goals over the course of the next 30, 60, 90 days using white label SaaS?
Yes. God, Phil, I feel like I need to write this down and then listening to you. I hope somebody can record this and give me a copy of it.
Beautiful, brother. So basically it's 3 simple steps. We don't like to overcomplicate the process because obviously you've never done this before. So at any point, if you feel like something doesn't make sense, feel free to stop me. So I just make sure you're tracking along with me. All right. Our goal over the course of the next 90 days is to get you in a position where you're making $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. We call it kind of like mailbox money. The way that we're able to do that, AJ, is we're going to kind of show you, obviously, the lay of the land, how it works, because you need to know how the business works, how it functions. But the beautiful part about that is we create basically 99% of everything for you. It's done for you. All we need you to do is do the 1% thing. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
And it's more of a clone. It's literally copy and paste of what we've already battle tested to be true. And all you need to do is put everything into action using our accountability coaching each week, where we walk you through and hold you by the hand through every single step of the process. We're able to do this in a matter of days instead of months, because our goal is for you to produce an ROI as quickly as possible. Any questions about the process so far?
No. I do get directions like at this point, sometimes I have to go ask me, okay, what's my expenses after I invest with you? Or what's my, you know, how much money do I get to keep or things like that? But
So
just
tell me
as of
real
right
quick,
now,
what is the average?
average what? Cost?
Like overhead and fucking how much do I keep?
So I tell them like, look, you're gonna get a 30-day free trial to the software. After that, you pay $4.97 a month for unlimited amount of clients. Expect to pay about maybe $10, $20 a day on Facebook ads to generate your own leads in addition to organic prospecting.
Yeah. So AJ, basically, let's say that you get a standard, just like baseline of our clients are usually making about 10,000. Usually we try to go a little bit higher, but overhead is probably less than 5%. Would you be happy with making about 95% profit margins?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, beautiful. Like I said, we hold you by the hand throughout the duration of the process. So based on everything that I've explained to you so far, any questions before we go into the boring details of the investment?
No.
How do you feel receiving that customized solution? Do you feel like you know what you're about to get into enough to make a decision?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, I feel good enough.
Okay, perfect. So all we have is the investment. Is it appropriate for us to kind of cover those details now? And you can ultimately let us decide how you'd like to move forward.
Sure.
All right, cool, brother. So basically for us to hand you a proven process that we've already battle tested to be profitable, to get you in a place to just make at least 10K per month mailbox money over the course of the next 90 days, we just need you to show up to do the 1%. It's just 10K. And our goal with the program is to obviously have it pay for itself as long as you're willing to put in the 1% of the work. Are you in a position right now where you're willing to put in 1% of the work so we can get you where you're trying to get to?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Why?
Ooh, it's a great question to do. Because I need this to work. Because I want to get a return on investment, but also like I told you, I need to support. I'm tired of this corporate job that I have. I'd love to be able to quit it. Like I said, one day 10,000 would get me to that number where I can quit it.
Yeah. And if you don't put in the work, AJ, this might be a weird question, and you don't put in that 1%, what happens then?
Then it won't work.
So are you willing to jump in, put in the work so we can get you out of that corporate job?
Yes.
Cool. How do you want to handle that?
I just don't have the $10,000 right now.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So before we talk about the money, based on everything that I've talked about so far, from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, this is going to get you out of your corporate job, 1 being, Phil sucks, I want to get off this call. Where are you?
Like a 9.
9? Why aren't you a 2?
Well, because I can see this working for me. I can see this making sense.
So if we can make the money work for you, where it doesn't put you in a bad position, is this something you actually want to move forward with?
Yeah, if we can make the money work. Like I said, I just don't have the $10,000 anywhere.
Okay. How far off are we?
That's another good question. Far, like I've got maybe 2,000 on a credit card that I can leverage right now. And then I'm like selling one of my properties next month. So I'll have probably the rest by next month.
Okay. And when you say the rest, you mean the 2K to the 10K, or how do you mean?
Yeah, like I could probably put up to 2K on a credit card right now, but like then the rest, I'm planning to sell this property that's going to bring me in 20 grand the next month, hopefully.
Scale from 1 to 10, you said hopefully. How certain are you that that's going to close and you're going to get the 20 grand in the next month?
Pretty certain. We're in contract.
Okay, perfect. So are you open to having a very vulnerable, open conversation with me about the money so we can find out a way to get you the support that you need without putting you in a bad position?
Yes.
Okay. How much are you making right now in your corporate job?
About 8,000 a month, give or take, minus taxes.
Okay. And how much do you actually keep at the end of the month?
That's barely keep any of it, like maybe a few $100.
A couple $100?
A couple $100 is what's left over after bills and child support. Whatever.
Okay. And so you're making 8K, so that's fine. How's your credit score?
It's not the best, but it's not bad. I think it's like a 680 right now.
Okay. So that's not terrible. And you've been at the corporate job for how long now?
Going on 6 years.
6 years. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I forgot to ask, is it just you? Do you have a family you take care of?
Yeah, I have 2 kids. I'm divorced, but I have 2 kids I take care of. I help pay my, I even send money to my parents, you know. I have
I love
people
that.
relying.
I love that. I love that. I mean, obviously, you know, just the hundreds of dollars you keep at the end of the month, we want to get you in a better position, especially with the kids. So at this point, we don't have any stocks. We don't have any portfolios. We don't have any other equity we can tap into at this point.
I have some stocks, but like I'm not gonna, and I do have a 401k plan, but I'm not gonna tap into that right now and pay the penalty on the 401k and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, it would probably
And
take me a week or 2 to get that together.
yeah, we're just looking at what options are available. How much do you have in the stock market right now?
Like 15k.
Okay, so just 15K. And what is it growing at? What percentage?
Yeah, it's not right now. It's, you know, economy's been tough. Markets, they're down like 20-30%.
Okay, so you're
From when I
basically
invested.
not making anything from it. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
loss.
401k, what would you have access to if worst case scenario, we had to potentially consider that?
I have like 50k in my 401k.
50K. Okay, so we have a stock portfolio that's making you 0%, although you have access to resources there. Would you rather make 0% on 15K or 100, 200, 300% on 15K?
Of course, I'd rather make 150%. Yes.
So I have a couple options that might work for us, right? As long as you're actually willing to consider one of these options so we can get you in a position where we don't just have a couple $100 left over at each month. If we make the money
Okay.
work, is this something you want to do today?
Yes, if we can make the money work.
Beautiful. So we have access to 2K right now, right? If we, again, these are just options. If we deplete that 2K, is that going to put you in a bad position?
It's just gonna max out my credit cards, but I can still like afford to pay the payments on.
Okay, cool. So we have an alternative, which is the stock market, right? You have 15K, and I understand you don't want to pay on that. But again, it's costing you how much when it's growing at 0%, and instead you can reuse that investment for something else. How much is it costing you if you don't utilize that?
I mean, obviously the opportunity cost based on what you're saying I can make with this business is far greater than me losing that out on that is far greater than me keeping that out of the stock market.
Okay, so are you open to a different perspective then?
Yeah, I am open to a different perspective.
So what we can do right now is we can charge the 2K just to get you started. How fast would you be able to pool the 15K, knowing that you may have to pay some taxes on that from the stock market, so that way you can use that for this investment in the next 90 days, get your investment back. We can potentially put it back in the stock market, even though it's only grown at 0%, so that way you can continue growing your wealth with mailbox money.
It'd probably take me a few days to sell the stock and then transfer some funds over.
Is that what you want to do?
It's already Friday, so I'm thinking like by mid next week.
Okay. Is that what you want to do?
No, not really what I want to do, but it sounds like it's the only way for me to do it. Now, can I pause right here, Phil, and ask
Yeah.
why not just downsell me to like say the 3K do it yourself, or because that's what I
Because you're not going to do it
Oh,
yourself. You're not going to do it yourself.
Yeah, and but I do have people go to it and then say,
Right,
hey, can
but
I upgrade
you
later?
guys as the people, the experts, you have to know, right? You got $100, $200 at the end of each month with 2 kids, and you're helping your family. You think you're going to do this yourself? What's the likelihood of them succeeding with a lower ticket product versus true accountability?
Yeah, you're right.
So you
But
have to
I
have the
pay-
conviction in your product that that's
Yeah.
actually going to get them the results that they need. We're here to change a life. We're the doctor. We don't give somebody an Advil when they need surgery. Does that make sense?
You know, Phil, it does make so much sense. And this is why sometimes I think I need to take myself out of the sales role position as the owner. Because if I had a sales guy, which I used to have a sales team with my last coaching program, and I would tell them, if the guy cannot afford it and you know he's not going to be able to pay for ads or anything like that, then don't sign him up, right? It was easy for me to say that. But like now that I'm like rebuilding this brand and I'm doing the sales calls, I get on these calls and I think to myself, like, AJ, you just paid $600 to get this application and you just had 3 no-shows, and this guy's willing to give you $3,000 or $2,000 for the do-it-yourself with the commitment that later on maybe he upgrades. And I end up convincing myself to take the money, even though sometimes I feel like you're saying, like, God, they might not have the resources but they could, like, I convinced myself, I'm like, they could do organic prospecting and get clients. That is true. They can do that. So I justify it.
Right. And so I guess like, what don't you have right now in proximity to you to help you reframe that mindset? Because there's a law of the lid. Your company will never grow more than the leader of the company. What don't you have access to right now that's preventing you from growing your mental state to believe in your prospects, to believe you can actually generate them results with a higher ticket program?
I think it's just that when I started this in January, I pre-sold $200,000 to my old community, to like 40 people. It was everybody I got on sales call was like, yep, here's 10 grand, here's 5 grand, here's 10 grand, here's 5 grand. And then I started running YouTube ads to cold traffic. And all of a sudden, like the last 20, 30 calls I've gotten has been, I have no money. I have this much, or no, I can't do it, or they don't show up. And it's changed my framework. It's changed my mindset completely from a place of abundance.
If I may,
Yeah.
you know what that is? When you're doing it to warm traffic, it's easy. When you're doing it to cold traffic, it's hard. And that's where you actually have to learn to sell. Most people, they have early wins, and they don't realize that you really have to know how to sell to scale, because once you run out of the people who are low-hanging fruit, now you have to sell it to people who aren't. And that's where the real sales skills come in. That's what I've seen with offer after offer after offer after offer. Those early wins, those are gimmies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was this helpful?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Okay.
So just to sum it up before I leave, Phil, you're saying when I get a no thanks at the end, it's not a no, it's just lack of clarity.
Yeah, any objection you guys get, you guys have to understand, like, you have to own that there is something we did or did not do on the call that prevented them from being confident enough to move forward. You have to own that every single time. It's never about the money. It's never about the thing. What didn't we do as leaders to prevent them from making a confident decision to move forward with us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. So listen, we're gonna move on because we got to be conscious of time here. So what I'm going to do, first of all, before I get into the 4-part objection handling, I probably quoted Frank Kern at least 7 times in this challenge. He said, if you want to show someone you can help them, actually help them. That's why I brought Phil on, so you guys can see the experience you will have inside the daily sales huddle. So you can see the type of stuff you will be learning. Okay. And here's my question. Type it in the chat, type it in the comments. Which is going to cost you more? The investment in our program, or you not knowing this stuff? Which one? Which one is a higher cost? Andrew, thank you.
Not knowing.
Not knowing. Anybody else? Investment or not knowing? Turn on your mics, let me know.
Not knowing.
Not knowing.
Okay. That is the biggest expense. So let's look at this for a second. To summarize, what Phil did was advanced. That's going to take time. But to make this simple for you, so you can use it right now, go to your workbooks, go down to the part where it says handling objections in 4 phases. The first phase is to agree and ask for clarification. I'm with you, and ask for clarification to make sure you're understanding what it is they're saying, because some people will give you a vague answer. Well, what does that look like? Well, what do you mean? Notice me and Phil, when we're doing these objection handlings, what do we normally do? We ask for clarification. Second, agree and summarize. Got it. So what you're saying is that you're concerned about X, Y, Z. You agree and you summarize so that they know that you understand the objection. And then isolate the objection. Isolate the objection. So if we could handle that, if we could solve that, would you be in? Would there be any other problems? Is there any other objections, or is this the thing that is holding you back? You agree and you isolate the objection. That way, if there's any other objections, they come out right there. And finally, the best way to handle an objection is to blank. What is blank? Can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me what the best way to handle an objection is?
Certainty,
Address it.
No.
clarity.
Nope. What have we
Avoiding
been
in the
doing
first
this
place.
whole time? What have me and Phil been doing the whole time, guys?
Ask a
Ask
question.
questions.
Ask questions. There we go. The best way to handle an objection is to ask questions. So on the next page, I want you to list, and you don't have to do this now, you can do this tonight for your homework. I want you to list 5 questions you can ask to handle your most common objections. 5 questions you can ask to handle your most common objections. All right. So let's hop into this right here is my favorite thing to teach. This is my absolute favorite thing to teach because this right here, and I saved the best for last, because this right here is what is going to show you all why you're not getting what you want in life, why your prospects, even though they may seem like you think, wow, what my offer makes sense. You know, you think my offer makes sense. If they buy the offer, it's going to change their life. Why aren't they buying? Why aren't they buying? Has anybody ever felt like this? And you get angry, you get discouraged, you start to hate your customer. Anybody ever feel like this? I see hands.
Yes.
Let me know if you feel like this. Yes? Okay. I'm going to explain to you why. All right? So I want you to follow along with me. The mind. Think about the mind. Think about who we are as human beings. What is the mind? It's default programming. What is it designed to do? What is the mind designed to do? To keep you what?
Safe.
Safe.
Alive.
Safe.
Safe.
This is why when you put your hand on a hot stove, you immediately retract it without even having to think about it. Your mind, boom. You get near a ledge, you get near one of these ledges right here, you get nervous. Your mind is programmed to keep you safe. Years of mental evolution, food, shelter, water. It's designed to keep you safe. So if your mind is designed, can we all agree? Can we all agree that your mind is designed to keep you safe? Yes? Let me know.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So consider this. What is required to get reward? What is required? Risk. Risk is required to get reward. You can't make money off a stock without first purchasing the stock. You can't get jacked in the gym without first putting the time in the gym and risking looking stupid, risking your time. You can't build a brand without risking your reputation. You can't build a business without risking your money. You can't get any reward without risk. No pain, no gain. Can we all agree to that? Yes? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, if that's true, then can anybody tell me what this is? So if the mind keeps you safe, and that's its default natural programming, and risk is required to get reward, then risk is the opposite of what?
Safety.
Safety.
Safe.
Risk is the opposite of safety. Okay, so if risk is the opposite of safety, and risk is required to get reward, meaning risk is required to be successful, then that means at all times in its default state, the mind opposes what?
Risk.
Change.
It does, but by default, it opposes. What are you if you get rewards? You are what? If you
Success.
finally achieve your goals, what are you?
Successful.
Successful.
So the mind naturally opposes success. If the mind keeps you safe, risk is required to get reward, risk is the opposite of safety, then the mind in its natural state opposes success. And this is why most people are not successful. 99% of people default to their default programming. They default to their default beliefs. They don't change the way they think. They don't change the way that they behave. They don't change anything about themselves. They want to have things, but they don't want to become the person that deserves it. We're not human beings, we're not human havings, we're human beings. You consider the person 5 years from now, yourself 5 years from now, who has the money, who has the time, who is successful. Did they say to themselves, I don't have the time? Did they say to themselves, I don't have the money? No, they did what was required. So here's the thing. When you're on a call with someone, You have to understand that even if they love you, even if they think your product is great, even if they think it would help, at the end of the day, their mind's designed to keep them safe. Risk is required to get reward. Risk is the opposite of safety. The mind opposes success. Which means when they say no, or they don't have the time, or they don't have the money, they don't hate you, they don't hate your product. They're just human, just like you. So all this anger and this resentment and this frustration over why someone's not buying, it's useless, because this is what they're programmed to do. What you have to do is you have to get them to think differently. Your job is not to persuade them. It's to get them to think differently so that they can overcome this default programming. Most people, 99% of people do this. 1% of people do the opposite. Do you want to be the 99% or the 1%?
The 1%.
The 1%. So what do you think you have to do? Do you think you should default into this? Or do you think you should think differently? And that is how you have to approach your customers. I am not mad. Look, I'm not angry. I'm not mad that some of you have not booked your call with us for our offer. I understand that, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I understand that most of you, if time or money wasn't an issue, you would do it. Would most of you do it if time or money wasn't an issue?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I know that it's not that you don't like me. It's not that you don't like Phil. It's not that you think we suck. It's none of that. It's that your mind is designed to keep you safe. So, and this is what happens. This is what happens when you you have logical decision making and emotional decision making.
Yeah, I live it.
When you logically say to yourself, and your prospects logically say to themselves, this makes sense. I will make more money if I do this. My life will be better if I do this. I will lose more if I don't do this. Then you have logically made the choice. But then, you know that feeling you get? You've logically made the choice, but then that feeling you get in your stomach, and you're like, ooh, I don't know. I don't, I don't want to move forward. Anybody get that feeling? Anybody get that feeling? Yeah? That's this happening. That's your mind taking over and going, whoa, it makes sense. It logically makes sense. But we need to keep you safe. We need to keep you safe, man. So I'm going to make you sweat. I'm going to make your stomach hurt a little bit. I'm going to make you get that weird feeling in your chest. I'm going to make you feel anxiety because I want you to be safe, because safety is all that matters. So I know you logically are saying that it's going to work. You logically know it's going to work, but I got to keep you safe. So I'm going to induce all of these physical and emotional things to make you feel scared, to retract so that you don't do it. That is what's actually happening. 99% of people succumb to that emotional fear, that emotional state. 1% of people push through it. Champions are not fearless. They just do it scared. And you need to realize that there's nothing wrong with your prospect. You just need to show them how to be a champion. That's it. That's it. And so I sincerely hope that we've helped you in this challenge. If you want help, if you don't want to keep losing that money, and look, here, let me write this up here. It's closedeals.com, and here's the guarantee I'm going to give you. closedeals.com/call. Here's the deal. Go to closedeals.com/call, submit your $1,000 refundable deposit. If we can't make the money work, we'll give you the $1,000 back. But if we can, you're going to learn what you've seen on this call today. That's what you're going to learn. Okay? And my question to you is, can you afford, for those of you who think I can't afford it, The question is, can you afford not to do it? Because if I talk to all of you on this call and I thought all of you were good with sales, I'd be like, okay, no problem. But I can see that you need it. And I can, and again, what is more expensive, the offer or not having the offer? And this is what you need to get across to your prospects as well. So closedeals.com/call. We will get on every single day with you. We will work with you. We will get you to a stable revenue, and then we will build you a sales team. This offer is expiring Sunday at midnight. And this is what I mean. The CRM that we built for you to organize and make sense of all your leads, all your communication, done for you follow-up systems, all of that expires Sunday night at midnight. We will not give that to you. If you book a call after Sunday and you decide to work with us, we will not give you that bonus. That goes away. As well, we are only taking 20 people. We've already signed up, I think, 6 already. Obviously, most people sign up at the end. So if you want to get in ahead of the rush, now's the time to do it. Happy to take any questions on this. But before I go, let me just cover one more thing. This is also one of my favorite things to mention. What is the number one? We already talked about the number one expense in your business, which is what?
Lost sales.
Lost sales. What is the number one expense in life? What is your biggest expense in life?
Ignorance.
Taxes.
Taxes.
Opportunities.
Yeah, oh, somebody said taxes. So somebody said taxes, okay? That's a good point. So what if I told you that taxes was actually your second biggest expense? Here's the thing. If you make $100,000 in a year, right? And here's the thing about tax. Taxes is expensive. Most people don't know this. You have income tax. You have state tax. You have a tax when you're born. You have a tax when you die. You have a tax when you buy a house. You have a tax when you sell a house. You have sales tax. You have tax when you buy a car. You have tax when you sell a car. There's taxes everywhere. Effectively, we pay about half our income in taxes. When you add everything up, it actually ends up being about half. So if you make $100,000 and you pay 50% tax, what is that in taxes?
$50,000.
$50,000. So what is 50,000, or what is 100,000 minus 50,000? What is that number?
50,000.
50,000.
50,000.
Okay. So if instead of making $100,000, you make $1 million, and you pay 50% of that, what is that in taxes? What is 50% of $1 million?
500. Okay.
500,000. What is 1 million minus 500,000?
500,000.
500,000. Now, what is 500,000 minus 50,000?
450,000.
450,000. And this number represents what you paid life last year for not knowing how to make $1 billion. You paid 450 grand for not knowing how to make $1 million. So the number one expense in life is not knowing how to make more, not knowing how to make $1 million. It's ignorance. It's not knowing. These are your two big expenses in life. And if you want to eliminate this expense, we can help you do that. Go to closedeals.com, book, closedeals.com/call, book your call. And here's the thing. We have a guarantee. So here's the deal. Not only is this bonus expiring expiring Sunday night, where you'll get that CRM system built out. And that we would charge $10,000 for that. $10,000. So you're saving that if you get it now. But here's the thing. We have a guarantee. If we make the payments work for you, we guarantee that we will make you back what we charge. And if we don't, we'll refund you the money. At what point, what else do you need for risk? Obviously, there's always risk to something, but we're removing as much risk as we can by doing a few things. Number one, we showed you we can help you on this challenge. Number two, we're going to make the payments work for you. And number three, if you don't make back what we charge, we'll give it back to you. So we're making the risk as minimal as possible. And if you're still not doing it, you got to ask yourself, how much longer do you want to crawl up into that safe place and not move and not get what you deserve in life? How much longer do you want to do that? How much longer? So that said, if you haven't yet, book your call at closedeals.com/call. Remember, the call deposit is refundable, and the offer to get the free done for you sales CRM expires Sunday at midnight. At this point, what I'd like to do is, first of all, I hope you all enjoyed the challenge. At this point, I would like to take any questions that you may have about this offer. And look, if you have something, you know what, more specifically, if you have something that's holding you back, if you have a concern that's holding you back, I'd love to know what that concern is, and perhaps I can help you deal with it, or I can answer it here on the challenge. So I'll open up the floor.
So before we jump in with Mara here, I just wanted to let you know, Dan, I know you got notifications going off. Mara just booked a call. So I want
Mara!
to just take a minute to congratulate her.
Yes, congratulations, Mara. Why did you decide to book a call?
She's a smart woman.
Well, I figured that with that call, I imagined that probably I need to do a launch next week. And I thought, well, the thing is, I bet on that call with Phil, whatever he's going to say is going to help me make 100K next week. So even if I'm not a good fit for the program today, probably I'm going to learn something that's going to help me make, you know, more than $1,000 next week. So I just thought it's probably, I thought that I would learn enough on that call with him to, you know, kind of reposition. So yeah.
Sure.
That's fine.
So
That's fine.
look, guys, keep in mind the $1,000 is refundable. If we can't make it work for you, if we can't make it, well, let me ask you this: who here would do it? Is it the 60,000 that's tripping you up? Is that what it is?
Well, some of it's that. The thing is that I have like loyal fans that I've had a 2K offer for the last couple months. I've been like, okay, the next thing I do, it's got to be 5K. I'm in a pivot moment anyway with my offer, right? And so I know I can sell 5K. I know that I can sell to the warm market that I have. My concern is that, well, I feel like the gentleman, I can't remember your name, who was saying like he needed 30 days to reposition stuff to start making more money. I feel part of that's where I'm at. But I'm very coachable. And then the other part of it, I was like, well, I'm going to need help with new leads. Like I have an audience who hasn't bought yet, but I think some guys will buy from me if I raise the price because it's perception. Like there's definitely been some guys that I thought, well, so-and-so will buy, some won't. But my concern is like, I also need help on bringing more leads in because I've been really lucky with my warm market. I haven't ever done nurturing campaigns, all the stuff that normal marketing people do. I haven't had to do because people buy from me, but I haven't, you know, last year we made about 100K, but I wasn't trying. It was an accidental business starting this online thing. I used to just consult startups. And then I was like, oh, digital market. Okay. So I feel like there's stuff that I just kind of need to repackage what I'm doing, but then I'm concerned about the program. Like, gosh, I need these other buckets of help, not just sales.
It sounds like you need a lot of clarity.
That's it. Because there's certain stuff that I know how to do, but it's like, that's what I appreciate about what you and Phil are doing is that it's those tweaks. It's like what I do with my clients, right? Like I teach them how to like pitch investors their film, right? Like here's how to pitch.
That if we worked with you every day to find more leads, to sell those customers you were speaking about on a higher ticket offer, and close and walk with you hand in hand, hold your hand through closing those deals, do you think you would make a lot more money than if you did it on your own?
Oh, that I know. It's more just making sure that I could whatever, go it alone, which doesn't sound fun, for another few months. It's just that I'm in the pivot of oh, I'm about to do a 5K offer. We just rebranded. The new brand is solid. It's really good. I've gotten really good at coaching people. Like I have tons of testimonials. Like I've done all that, but I need some more gritty work. Like I'm not walking in with the 5K offer honed in already. See what I mean? Like
You would get it honed in faster if you had our help.
well, that's why I booked a call tonight, because I thought I'd probably figure it out in an hour with Phil. So yes, that's why I booked the call, because I thought, well, I bet he's going to say something that's going to be clear, and then, you know.
Are you open? And so if he can demonstrate that we can make it work for you and that we can help you scale this thing, are you open to working with us if it makes sense?
Yeah. Actually, I had one more question. Yes.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know, but I was just really curious, just from your perspective, why do you still do this work, Dan? Like, because I was fascinated by how generous you were with your time this week, you know, and answering people's questions. And part of me, I was like, why is he still doing this? Like, I was reading your book last night about digital millionaire secrets, and so I was up till the night, like reading it. And I thought, why are you still doing this work? Yeah, actually.
Well, because, you know, it's sort of like if you were a doctor and you made a bunch of money and you were good to go, but there were still people out there that needed help. It's sort of like a Hippocratic oath. For me, yeah, so for me, you know, I took a break for a while, but I've got friends that have businesses, and we'll go out and they'll ask a question, and within 30 seconds, I have a crowd of people around me, and I'm just like, this is what I do. You know, this is just what I do. And so the thing is, like, here's the deal. You know, I don't need the money, right? Like, I don't need another 60 grand. I don't need. I'm gonna wake up in the same house. I'm gonna drive the same car. Everything's gonna be the same for me, and my life's not gonna change. But your life could change if you take the offer. My life won't, your life could. And that's why I do it. I do it because I have repeatedly seen lives change and it's not just me. I mean, it's my team, my team is amazing. Both teams at GetClients.com and the teams at CloseDeals.com, they're amazing. And, you know, we do it because, look, I know what it's like to not even be able to afford groceries. I know what it's like to not even know if I'm going to be able to pay the electric this month. I know exactly what that's like. And when I was in my early 20s, I answered a Craigslist ad and I got a sales job. And I was delivering pizza at the time. And they fly me up to Trenton, New Jersey. And where I came in was it was a company that Billy Mays got his start, where Billy Mays got his start. And I'd never really done sales before. So I trained with them for 2 weeks, and the gig was to do pots and pans at department stores, to sell pots and pans. And we go to this store, it's our first gig, we're setting up the pots and pans, and my sales manager, he says, he gets on the microphone and he says, all right, Sam's Club shoppers, there's gonna be a cooking show in the next 5 minutes on aisle 14. You know, head there now. So about 5-10 minutes later, there's about 20 people standing in front of me. And I got real nervous. And I started thinking, like, this is a bad idea. This is not going to work. I felt, I put every possible excuse in my head. And I went over to my manager and I said, I don't want to do this. I literally told him I don't want to do this. And what he did was, he took a sheet of paper. It was the sales script for our offer. And he said, listen, he said, you see the words on this page, you see the words that we've taught you, the words on this page. If you read these words and you just say what we taught you to say, these people will buy from you and you will make money. Can you do that? And I was like, yes. Okay, I'll do it. So I got up there and I said the words that I was taught to say. And 5 people at the end picked up a set of cookware and took it to the counter. And I made 5 sales. I did that presentation several more times that day, and I walked away with $1,000 in sales commission. Prior to that, I was struggling to make $400, maybe $500 a week delivering pizza, and I was working 40 hours a week. And in just maybe 6 hours, I made over $1,000 in commissions. And that was the day I knew that if you knew how to master your words, you could make the world bend to your will. And you could have whatever you wanted in life. And so what I did was I spent the next 12 years learning everything I could about sales, everything I could about using my words. And I developed that into a business that made me $30 million at GetClients.com. Closed Deals became $1 million business the first 2 weeks we were in business. And I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people hit their financial goals. I've helped several people, over a dozen hit 8 figures. I've helped over 100 hit $1 million, probably more, and hundreds hit high 6 figures. And it all came down to mastering your words. And so I believe that I can teach anyone how to unlock financial freedom in their life and make the world bend to their will if they just know what to say. And that is what my intention is to do with you all, is myself, Phil, and my team to work with you to master your words and master your salespeople's words so that you can have whatever you want in life. You can pluck it out of thin air. That, to answer your question, is why I do it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. It's really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any other questions?
Marty, you want to jump in?
Sure. So Dan, I always love your analogy of if you want to learn how to fly, what do you do first?
Oh, yes.
Do you buy a plane or do you get
Yeah, that's a good one. Forgot
flying
about
lessons? I love it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use it on you and then you can tell me what, why I'm wrong. So I feel like investing in this is like buying the plane without getting lessons, because I think my offer sucks. And I think I don't know how to get leads. Like over the last 3 months, I've maybe gotten on 2 or 3 calls a month, booked calls. So I think there's a problem with my offer. And obviously I'm not very good at generating leads. I generate leads mostly through the promotion of my book, which I've maybe sold like 9 of in the last 3 months. So it's
9 of your
shit.
book?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, brother, how many calls have you seen people book on this challenge since it started?
I don't know. I mean,
All the comments from people saying, I booked 2 calls. I mean, KD booked like,
oh,
God.
right. Okay. Sorry. I thought you were asking me how many you've booked to talk to Phil.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
KD booked like a gazillion. Okay.
I've only been able to book 3 so far.
Okay.
so-
But that's 3 calls that you would not have booked.
right.
Okay. That you would not have booked. Here's the thing, Katie, or here's the thing, Marty. Do you honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you believe your sales ability is?
Like 3, 2.
If we could get it to a 7 or an 8, do you think you'd make a lot more money? Or do you think it's just the offer? And tell me your offer again. You teach people how to flip real estate?
Yeah. I teach aspiring investors how to flip foreclosures.
My friend, I personally know. So I could tell you off the top of my head, over a dozen people that make millions of dollars with that offer. A good friend of mine, Cody Sperber, clever investor, makes a ton. He makes millions with that offer.
I know he lives like 10 minutes from me, and I get to hear him talk about how much money he's making all the time. And I'm like, why can't that be me?
So that's the thing. You think, like many people, you think that there's all these people out here with your exact offer that are making millions of dollars. The guy lives 10 minutes away from you, but you think that you don't want to invest in this because the problem is your offer. Does that make sense, Marty? Be honest. Does that make any sort of logical sense whatsoever?
So it's not, yeah, no. But I guess I don't think about it like it's a real estate offer. I just think of it as specifically foreclosures and, you know, my niche, you know.
Do you honestly think that flipping real estate is not a good offer, or do you think that maybe this is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you had an obscure offer, like I help people learn how to levitate, I'd be like, okay, that might be your offer. But you literally teach people how to flip real estate. One of the best offers of all time. How to flip real estate, weight loss, how to do Amazon FBA. I mean, my God, man.
Marty, I think your timing too is going to be great if you can get this down, because I think a few days before, Dan even said he'd be wanting to have a conversation with you because the market is about to crash. I think if you have the affluent people who have the cash, you know, who's sitting on cash right now, because we all know that the market is going to correct itself really soon here. Like, think about it. Cost of living is going up. People can't afford their mortgages. So what's going to happen? There's going to be more foreclosures. I'm not here to scare everyone. I just look at data.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marty, I mean, I literally was, I mean, this, you have a good offer, brother. You have a great offer, especially as Danielle said, heading in to what is soon going to be a huge foreclosure market. I mean, look, let me ask you this, Marty. Are your competitors going to make money from this?
Yes.
They are, right? No matter what you do, whether you book this call or not, your competitors are going to make money from this, correct?
Yes.
What do
Absolutely.
you think the difference is between you and your competitors? Is it the offer, or is it, or what is it? What do you think it is?
Well, like with Cody and like Pace Morby, they just have huge followings, like just, and they've been doing it for so long.
How do you think they got, okay, how do you think they got there?
They're really good at sales.
Really? That's shocking. So listen, do you know why I blew up quick? Guys, who here thinks I blew up quick when I first started? I don't know how long y'all been following me, but would you say it was pretty quick?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, right? Do
Yeah.
you know, I didn't know anything about internet marketing when I started. I didn't know anything about Facebook ads. I didn't know anything about any of that. But you know what I knew?
How to
Sales.
sell.
I knew how to sell. I knew how to sell. So when I learned that skill, and I learned it quickly, I already knew how to sell it. The difference is you simply don't know how to sell. You guys all have offers that other people have that are crushing it. They know how to sell. It's very easy to blame the audience. It's very easy to blame the offer. It's very easy to blame market conditions. These are easy things to do. People's mind take the path of least resistance. What is more resistance, to say, man, I just don't know how to sell? Or to say, you know what, it's just the market. You know what, it's my offer. Which one's easier? Obviously, to say, oh, it's the market, it's my offer. The hard thing to do is to say, I don't know how to sell. And it's hard to admit. It's hard to admit. Marty, do you think if you could sell even a quarter as good as Phil, do you think you'd make a lot more money with this offer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so listen, guys, we had a guy, Russ, and I keep bringing him up because this dude literally, I mean, he had no, you all think you struggle with confidence. This guy had no confidence whatsoever. He had no idea how it was going to work. And he's like, oh, you know, I sell to solar people. They're cheap. They're this or that. He was charging $2,000 to show them how to do Facebook ads for their solar companies. I said, no, you got to charge 20. I got him to charge 10, and he's been closing deals at $10,000. And prior to that, Marty, he said the same thing you said. Oh, my offer sucks. My offer, blah, blah, blah. Look, I forget who it was who had the ED offer. It's not that your offer sucked, brother. It's that the way that you were positioning it was, and what is that? That's your words. That's your words. You don't say, oh, I told him to go to the doctor. That doesn't sound good at all. But I hold them accountable to do the things they need to do to be the master, the conqueror in the bedroom. Every day, you know, what's the difference? Words. Marty, do you think if you knew the words, if you were held accountable to the words, you can make this work?
Yes.
Do you really, I mean, honestly, brother, do you really think it's your offer? I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. If you think your offer sucks, that means that you think it's not worth anything, right?
I think people look at it and think that it's too difficult to implement, maybe.
Okay, I tell you what, I'll give you two choices. You either sign up for this, or since you got the course built out, you got the book, you got all that, right?
Yes.
Give me 95% equity in your company. I'll take over and you'll get 5%.
Okay, I'm going to book a call. You got me.
Oh, no, but no, I'm serious. Will you give me 95% equity in your company?
No.
Whoa. You just said it wasn't worth anything. Wait, if it's not worth anything, if the offer sucks, who cares? You'll at least get 5%. Well, I don't understand. I thought it wasn't worth anything.
Yeah. I
If
smell
it
your
was
cooking.
worth something, I'd be giving you 95% just to have Dan rerun my business.
Okay, see, this is what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with your offer, brother.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with your offer.
Yeah.
Nothing. Well, let me ask you this. What's the biggest objection you get? Not logistical, but when you're on a call, like, what's the biggest reason they don't move forward?
I just got a text. I'd been supposed to do a follow-up with I booked the call Tuesday or Monday for Wednesday. We had the call Wednesday. She said she just had to work out the funding. So we agreed to talk today. I just was confirming it. And she just said, "Hi, Marty, don't have the funds right now to take your course." And that's pretty much standard objection. Every objection I get is,
Do you have the funds for this program?
I do. Yeah.
You do. So you do have the funds. Okay. So then that's not a problem. All right.
No.
But let me ask you this. If you saw how Phil handled the I don't have money, right? You saw how he handled that, right?
Yeah, it was terrific. Yeah.
If you could handle those same objections half as good as he could, do you think you'd get more money out of these people?
Yes. Yes.
So what do you think you need to do? Listen, brother, I know you've been working on this offer for a long time, but this is the most intensive thing that you can do. This is every single day. Okay? Every single day. James says the two people I closed on Monday said, I don't have the money either. They both, guys, Marty, if you don't make this money back, then I'll give it back to you. I mean, your offer is great.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to tell you. Your offer is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So that's
I'm
the thing,
in.
guys.
Yeah. Book it right now.
All right, brother. Awesome. Congratulations. Anybody else on the fence about booking a call that you have questions for me?
Come on, somebody else, please give him an objection.
So Dan, I've got one from General in Mission.
Sure.
While we wait then. So I've noticed the same objection come up 2 days in a row. So I want to give you a chance to hit on it. They're worried that their offer price is just not high enough to make it make sense to join the daily sales huddle and then to potentially in the future get a rep. Their offer price is $1,300.
Great question. Here's what you do. You book a call, you speak to Phil. You tell Phil what your offer is. If Phil thinks that you can't raise the price, we'll give you your $1,000 back and done deal. If Phil thinks that you can, he'll explain how and he'll explain what that price point is. And then if we can make it work, we'll make it work and we'll move forward. And if not, we'll give you the $1,000 back. Does that handle your objection? Let me know if that does, Carla.
I'll keep an eye.
Is there anybody else here that had that same objection? No? Anybody else here feel that their price point isn't enough to justify this?
Dan, I don't have that objection and I already went ahead and signed up, but I am curious to hear, like, one of my concerns with my offer that in my niche basically is cell phone repair shop owners. And in general, it's a much smaller overall market than what other people do. So like I was explaining to Phil, like I can foresee scaling to, 30, 50 grand a month without a problem. But I really have a hard time being able to scale much farther than that, just because I don't feel like there's enough shop owners and repair shops in the US to be able to support that, like a large enough market. You know what I mean?
Okay. Great question. How many cell phone repair shops?
So from the NVIDIA, which is like the National Wireless Dealers Association, wireless dealers in general,
Mm-hmm.
they show that there's approximately 40,000 different like shop.
40,000.
Yeah, yep, is
Okay.
what they're saying.
That's quite a bit, and you also have to consider how many people are thinking of creating a cell phone repair shop, how many people are already in process of creating one, and how many people do mobile. When my cell phone gets messed up, I do mobile repair. The guy comes out, he doesn't even have an office, he comes out in a truck. Do you know anything about mobile repair?
Yeah, I mean, that was originally how I started before I did the brick and
Really?
mortar deal.
How much did you make when you did mobile repair?
I used to do it on the side and did 6 figures.
Okay.
And then I decided to.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's back it up. Let's back it up a second. So let me get this straight. You don't know how you're going to scale this offer, yet you know how to start a mobile cell phone repair shop. You made 6 figures doing it. Could you show someone who wants to make more money how to start a mobile repair business and make 6 figures?
Absolutely.
How many people in the United States do you think would rather make 6 figures doing mobile repair than work at their job?
There's probably a few thousand, I'm sure.
A few thousand. Let me ask
I'm
that question.
sure, yeah.
How many people in the United States do you think would rather make 6 figures a year with a mobile repair shop versus 50,000 a year at their job?
A lot.
Would you say millions? If presented the opportunity?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there's like, how many people in the United States? Like 280 million or something like that. I mean, but you're wondering how you're going to scale? I mean,
Limiting beliefs, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, guys, that's everything. That's everything we're dealing with is belief. I don't have the time. Yes, you do. If you have the time to take sales calls that you don't close, and you have the time to do things in your business that doesn't work, then you have the time to get on an hour with us every day so that you can do what does work. If you're so busy being broke, I'm sure you can find some time to get rich. That's the truth, okay? That's the truth. So, guys, like I said, if you don't make your money back, we'll give it back. That's how confident I am, all right? And we'll make the payments work. We'll make the payments work. We'll make it work, period. So, closedeals.com/call. Any other questions? Any other questions for me? Any from general, Carla?
No, I don't see any. I see one asking if Phil has the follow-up memes empty. Remember we talked about the memes he sends for follow-up, but I don't think he's on anymore. So we'll have to.
Oh, yes.
Talk about that.
So I'll try to cover that real quickly. So what he does is, if let's say you have a lead that you haven't booked a call with and they've completely ghosted you. What's funny is you can send memes of like, Homer Simpson kind of like doing this and funny memes. And believe it or not, honestly, people overcomplicate this. Let's say the guy's name is Frank. Frank ? Believe it or not, we get more responses from just their first name ? than you would possibly imagine. Little memes where it's like, actually work really good. It's the simplest answer is obvious is most usually the best, the truest answer. So does that, and Phil can show you all that stuff. Guys, let me recap the offer one more time, okay? If you are not in a position yet where you can justify hiring a sales team, and look, if you are, look, we'll determine that on the call. Maybe you jump on the call and we're like, you're ready for a sales team, and we just go. But if you're not, we're going to get on a call with you every single day for an hour a day. We're going to work with you to close deals, to get you to a prospect, get leads, close deals, get you to a stable revenue. I say 50,000 a month, but maybe it's 100, maybe it's 20. Just depends on your business. Get you to a stable revenue. Most of our clients double or triple, some of them 5 or 6x in the first month. Especially if you're only at like $5,000 a month, a lot of our clients will 5x in the first month. And we'll get on you every day. We will build you, and this offer expires after this challenge. We will build you a custom CRM with pipeline management, follow up, organize all your leads, make it all organized so that you don't have to remember, oh, what did that client say? Oh, it's 9 a.m. on Tuesday. It's 2 weeks after I talked to him, follow up. Oh, he said the reason that he wanted to do this was because he wanted to buy a new house for his mother. Okay, boom, all organized, nice and neat. We will get you to a stable revenue, and then we will build you a sales team, manage that sales team, and you don't even have to do it. That's the offer. Also, you go to closedeals.com, you submit a $1,000 deposit so we know you're serious. We will take that $60,000 and we will figure out a way to make it work. We'll figure out a payment option to make it work. And if we can't make it work, we'll give you the $1,000 back. And if we can, fantastic, let's move forward. And if we can't make you your money back, we'll give you your money back. That's how confident we are. So if there's any other questions, if any of you are left with a question of, man, I just don't know, like I don't, because look, don't book, if you book a call next week, you ain't getting the CRM. Well, you can pay $10,000 for it. If you have a question that's holding you back, something that's on the fence, I'd love to answer it, address it. And maybe it's not for you. It's not for everybody. So ask right now if you're on the fence. What is your question? What is the thing holding you back? And I'd be happy to address it. And then we will end the session for the day.
Dan, one question. Do you do sales training for teams?
Sales training for what?
For teams of sells other businesses.
Are you asking if we'll train your sales team?
No. I'm asking, do you do sales training for teams? So another business, if their sales team is not performing, do you do?
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I covered that. If you have an existing sales team and they're not performing great, yes, we can take over management. That's a separate, that's a custom pricing. So again, you can just.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to know if you did it.
Yeah, you can book a call on the same page and talk to Phil. Yes, we can take over management of your existing sales team and increase their sales. We do that. It's basically 3 versions of what we offer. If you're not there yet, we get you there, and then we build your sales team. If you're there, then we build you a sales team. And if you're there, but your existing sales team isn't working, we take over management. So it all roads lead to the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, awesome, thank you. Any other questions?
Hey, Dan, this is James. Can I just throw a little testimony at you real quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So just for like anyone sitting on the fence, I'm like the epitome of the person who like really couldn't afford the program and they figured it out. And just to offer like some perspective, like I have like over $102,000 in credit card debt right now. And I'm kind of telling that, I'm like super tired of telling that story. And we're like a couple months away from having to make it happen. So like all sales that are generated from what we're learning from you guys are literally going to pay for the program. But I like didn't have the money to figure it out. And I guess I'm kind of patting myself on the back, but just to give affirmation to anyone who's like sitting on the fence, like Phil was really great about figuring something out that could work for us to make it happen. And they most certainly don't have to do that, but I figured I'd just toss that out at you because I'm sure there's other people that are, you know, in a similar position of like financial stress. So
Brother, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. I really
man.
appreciate it. Yes, guys, we will work it out with you. We want to help you. Look, you got to understand something. And I'll end with this. Your money is not the entire payment. It's your testimonial. That is part of your payment. Because look, you pay us, right? If we get you amazing results, that case study, that testimonial will probably get us 5, 10, 15, 20 clients. So I'm not so much worried about how much you can pay us right now. I'm worried about getting you results, because when I get you results, that is going to generate us far in excess. So us working out a payment option or a pay plan for you that makes sense, that's no sweat off my back. Because what I need from you more than your money is your result. I need the result. I know we can get you the result, but I need you in the program to get that for you. And if we get that for you, here's what I ask. If we can make the payment work, if you get on this call and we give you the most affordable, we just make it work. All I ask is that when you do get the result, you take a moment to share it. You take a moment to hop on with us, share your experience so that we can use that to change more lives and help more people. I am more concerned with that than I am with, can you pay the entire amount or whatever. I'm more concerned with that. So my goal is to get as many of you into this program on this challenge as I can, get you amazing results, and then I can market those results to change more lives a lot quicker. So I need from you your result, your commitment to actually doing this. I need your effort far more than I need your money. And that is why, no matter what situation you're in, I promise you, we can do our best to make it work. And we've made it work for people that just didn't think it was going to work. Because I know that 60 number is a big number, but we can make it work. And look, all it takes is to book a call, and if we can't make it work, we give you the money back. So there is no risk. And Andrew can second that. He says.
Dan, I have a question about the CRM setup. I've already booked my call, but I'm curious. How does it track like the different channels you might be following up? I know like you talked a lot about like, you know, following up via like text or kind of like chat. I've got most of my leads over email. So it's just kind of like different channels I might be communicating with them. Like, does it all kind of integrate all that stuff, or is there a way that makes that a little bit smoother?
So that's a really techie question.
Okay.
And I'd love to, I don't like to answer super techie questions. I like to bring my tech guy in for that, because I don't want to say something wrong, because that's how it integrates and all that is a tech question. But Phil, what we plan on doing is we're going to build everybody's CRM, and then I'm going to have my tech people do like a orientation call where we show you all how to use it, how it works, what you need to do, get you your logins, and all that. And so for those tech questions, I kind of want to defer to my tech people. I don't want to give you incorrect information.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Any other questions? Let me ask you this. Let's do this. Let me ask you, I'm gonna take one from my boy, Alex. For those of you who have not booked a call and don't intend to, imagine that there was this magical unicorn version of this offer, right? So there's this magical unicorn version of an offer flying on a rainbow. It's the perfect offer that you can't say no to. What is the difference between that offer and the offer we're currently giving you? What is the gap? Can anybody tell me? Because if there's no gap, if nobody has an answer, then everyone should book a call. So I'm imagining somebody has an answer. Can anybody tell me what the difference would be between, and if you've booked a call, please don't, for those of you who haven't, that magical unicorn rainbow of an offer, what's the difference between the offer we're giving you and the offer you couldn't possibly say no to? Anyone? That must mean it's a pretty good offer. Anyone have anything before we end? Do we need to run ads if we're not there yet? Do we need to run ads if we're not? No. So here's the thing, guys. Ads are great. And when you get to a point where you need ads, we can recommend you. We have a in-house, or we have an agency that we work with. It is run by one of my former media buyers that used to work in-house with us. And if you're ready for ads, we can refer you to this agency. And the great thing about this agency is they work on performance, and they're fantastic. So when we think you're there, we can refer you to them. But no, look, $100,000 a month is easily doable without ads, with just prospecting. That's what I did. My first month when I wasn't even that good at this stuff, I made $100 grand. Look, guys, let me be real with you. I'm gonna be freaking real with you. I was nowhere near as good when I first started my first month as I am now. We can all agree to that, yes? There's no possible way, right? I wasn't that good. And I didn't run ads. I just did prospecting. Do you know what the difference was between most people and what I did that first month? Belief. I believed I could do it, and so I did it. I believed it would work, so I put all my time, money, and energy into it. That was the difference. Belief. And so the true question here is, if you believe that you deserve more, then get the help required to get there. That was the only difference. I wasn't even that good at this stuff. You can get to $100 grand a month on prospecting alone. I guarantee that. I guarantee you that. Easy. I did it when I wasn't even that good. So there's no reason why you can't do it. Any other questions? All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end really quick. Just remember, you go to closedeals.com/call, you submit your deposit. It's refundable. You talk with Phil. If it doesn't work, we give it back. The offer to get the CRM ends Sunday at midnight. Also, the Facebook group recordings, all that will come down Sunday at midnight. So if you want to watch these recordings, please go in and do so before Sunday at midnight. You obviously can keep your workbooks. You already have those. Yeah, so that would be it. So guys, thank you so much. We've already had several people join, and so we look forward to crushing it. We look forward to crushing it with you. Thank you guys so much. I really do hope you enjoyed this challenge, and it helps you. And I know a lot of people made money on this and closed deals. What did I say? I said you will close deals on this challenge. Many of you will close deals on this challenge, and you did. I always keep my promises, and so I don't intend to stop. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I hope to speak to all of you soon. All right.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.